It was the most BC win possible with a near collapse at the end, but the Eagles hold off Wake Forest.
You are Locked On Boston College, your daily podcast on the Boston College Eagles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Locked On Boston College. I'm your host, AJ Black, and I have been hosting Locked On BC for over 5 years. I've been covering Boston College for over 10 years. And if you're looking for Boston College news, analysis, and details on your Eagles, you are in the right place. Locked On BC is a free daily Boston College podcast available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. On today's show, BC ends their 8-game losing streak by beating Wake Forest at home. Now, this was a game that was pushed off because of the big blizzard around here. It was supposed to be played yesterday. They had to push it back because the roads were a complete disaster and, 2 to 3 feet of snow no matter where you lived. It was a mess. They pushed it off to Wednesday. And, hey, Wake Forest was struggling. This is a team that they were just saying, earlier, if you talk to Wake Forest folks, they were surprised that Steve Forbes is going to be keeping his job. They are above BC in the rank, in the ratings, and in the standings, but still not a very good team. And hey, some late heroics here give BC the win. Now, this was an ugly game. Like scoring wise, it was just low. And credit to BC's defense because Wake was averaging about 77 points per game, and they held them to 67 in this game. So the defense did hold on. They had their troubles at points, but listen, they had a lead for most of the second half, and that was a tip in the right direction. Now, the storyline going into this game was the losing streak, 8 games. The question of whether Donald Hand would play for the first time since February 15th, that injury he sustained, I think it was against Miami, and how they were going to play at home. And to BC's credit, they answered a lot of this. Now, Hand came off the bench in this game. He was starting on the bike at the beginning. Wasn't in the starting lineup. They brought him in later, and it was the Fred Payne show really for most of this game. Payne was the one that kept them going. So they play, they're battling, and BC takes the lead in the second half. They go ahead, and it's 6. They're up by 5, I think it was, with about a minute left, 55 seconds. And Wake Forest hits a 3-pointer. They hit a 3-pointer. And you're like, I think there was 29 seconds left at that point. And 24 seconds, excuse me. Juke Harris, who was their star throughout this game, steals the inbound pass and hits another 3-pointer to put Wake Forest up by 1 with 19 seconds left. How does that happen? Like you had a good lead going on here, and you were basically in control, and in the most BC way possible, you let it completely fall apart. So I'll tell you, I was skeptical. At this point, they still had 20 seconds left. I'm like, we've watched this story before. BC has lost so many one-possession games this season. Are they going to be able to get out of this one? And I thought to myself, that's not going to happen, right? Well, they get the ball with just seconds remaining. Fred Payne drives to the net. He lays it up, misses. And I'm like, oh, gosh, that's it. But who's there? Aidan Shaw. He tips it in. And with 0.5 seconds remaining, he tips it in, and BC gets the win. Hey, there was nobody there. Fans were not. It was completely empty. I mean, the pictures that I could show you of the stands, I mean, I know that the game was rescheduled, but like it was pretty bad. The crowd that was there got very excited, and BC wins their 3rd game. And in a moment, we're going to talk about what this win means and what it doesn't mean. I'll get into what I mean by that in just a moment. Ever wanted to experience the NBA Finals live and in person? FanDuel is giving you the chance to turn that dream into reality with their NBA sweepstakes. Here's how it works. Use your profit boost on any NBA future, and you'll automatically be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for two. That's right. Flights, tickets, the whole experience. Now, the Celtics are in second place. I'm a big Boston fan. You guys all know that, right? The odds are nice that they could get into that to win the championship, especially with Jason Tatum returning potentially. You can get that all on FanDuel, get that futures bet. And I love the futures this time of the year, whether it's picking a team to win it like the Celtics or the additional layer of excitement to every game down the match. So visit FanDuel.com to get yourself started. Use your profit boost on an NBA future and get yourself the chance to win a trip on the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Tax season doesn't have to take over your life this year. TurboTax is making it easier than ever to hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax Full Service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local professional start to finish with the stress or guesswork. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with local tax expert in person or connect online. It's a huge game saver and really gives peace of mind knowing an expert is handling it. For a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150 all in. If your TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year, just file by February 28th. Take taxes off your plate and get back to your life. Visit turbotax.com/local to book your appointment today.
I'm Kalia Butler, host of Locked On Women's Basketball, and this is Mazda's Women's Basketball Snapshot, celebrating the work no highlight reel can ever capture. South Carolina rolled past Ole Miss 85-48 to clinch a share of the SEC regular season title and lock down the number 1 seed in the conference tournament. The Gamecocks extended their win streak over Ole Miss to 21 straight. UCLA dominated Wisconsin 80-60 to secure its first outright Big Ten regular season championship in program history. The Bruins improved to 27-1 overall and remain unbeaten in conference play. And number 12 TCU stormed back from a 13-point fourth quarter deficit to beat Iowa State 80-73. The Horned Frogs now sit alone atop the Big 12 standings and are 1 win away from clinching another regular season conference crown. These moments are earned off the clock, those long before the lights ever come on. The sweat, the fakes, the doubt, the scrapes, and coming back for more every time. Mazda puts that same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment, putting in the work, that defines you. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you.
Locked On Boston College, AJ Black here, and thank you all who made Locked On BC part of your first listen every single day. Now, this game, Duke Harris had 38 points and Wake Forest still couldn't win. So I could see why Demon Deacon fans are calling for Steve Forbes' head, even though I still think he's a good coach, but what do I know? But with this win, BC now has 3 conference wins, which ties them at the time of this recording with Pitt and puts them ahead of Notre Dame and not Pitt. Sorry, I'm pulling it up right now. It ties them with Notre Dame and Pitt and puts them ahead of Georgia Tech. It's crazy that Georgia Tech beat BC. And you still have a game against Notre Dame. So to me, and to looking at this, it looks like BC still has a chance to make the ACC tournament, which is interesting given what Kevin Stone of Eagle Action posted about today, which said that it's a foregone conclusion, basically, that if Earl Grant doesn't get to an ACC tournament 2 years in a row, he's gone. So it'd be really kind of funny if BC backdoors them with their own way in and saves Earl Grant's job. For me, that's not funny at all. I don't think for any of you it's funny. Because if you're still a terrible team, which BC still is, and make a tournament and save that job and just do this again next year, it just further puts a nail in the coffin. But I'm going to say this. Watching this game, the fact that BC almost blew a lead because of just absolute poor play down the stretch, it doesn't change anything. And I don't think, even if they make the ACC tournament, I still think change has to happen. And I don't think BC is that obtuse that they don't understand that it will happen. They'll make it happen, right? So I don't think this changes anything. It's a win, but in a sense, anyone with 2 eyes watching this was horrified at how close of a loss to a loss this became in a game that they had no business losing. So it's just more of the same. And hopefully anyone that's a decision maker saw this as exactly what it was, which was, hey, it was an exciting win. Great for the guys, right? The guys earned that win. Aidan Shaw, he deserved a nice moment there. That was great, right? But all the problems that hit BC all year long that we've seen with Earl Grant year after year after year continue to show here, where the team had done enough that they should have been able to put this game to bed, and still you were biting your nails because this team just does not know how to win at all. Doesn't know how to win. There's very clear there. So we'll have to wait and see. Right now, Pitt is beating Stanford, which if you're hoping that BC doesn't make the ACC tournament, I don't have a stake in that game. Like, I still think they should make the tournament. Any forward momentum for any new coach would be great. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, their next game is against Miami on Saturday. Miami is the poster child for coaching changes, as they went from a terrible team last year to the most improved team in all college basketball this year. And yes, it's Miami, and yes, they have a huge NIL pot, and it's Life Wallet or whatever that guy is still doing. I don't know. Whoever it is, they're getting a lot of money. So they're a little bit different, but they show that if you get a good coach in there, you can win. That's what they're doing. So, hey, congratulations to BC basketball. A nice win. Those players, every time, whether it's BC football against Syracuse or this, when a bad team wins, it's nice to see them finally shake that off. It's no ill will against the players. They bust their butts out there. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. And hopefully, we'll see what happens from here. Again, we'll be back. There's a full episode coming out tomorrow where I'm going to answer a question by a reader, talk about a new official visit coming in, and get into a whole lot more. You're not going to want to miss all that on here at Locked On Boston College, your team every day.